Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting. The City Council meeting is first, and I will kindly ask our City Clerk to please take the roll call.
Bruno.
Here.
Burkhart.
Here.
Clements.
Here.
Ruby.
Here.
Caven.
Here.
Kilburg.
Here.
Maladra.
Here.
Marks.
Here.
McGowan.
Here.
Swanson.
Here. We have a full house tonight, folks, and we have the honor of a special guest, Boyd Egan. Boyd, come on up, big guy. Boyd is with Troop 37. He's an 8th grader at Geneva Middle School North, and you're hanging out with Mom tonight, the famous and revered Dr. Sakry. Mm-hmm. And Boyd is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll follow your lead, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very, very much. Alderman Clements, Mr. Egan was here today to earn a badge. Which badge was that?
Assuming a civic badge.
So you, Thank you for clearing that up. We apologize for you having to spend time with Alderman Clements.
It can be rough.
It was a citizenship and in the community badge.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Boyd, we can edit the tape. Okay. And if you need to sneak out, by all means, do so, okay? Okay. Item 3, new business and public comment. Anyone here this evening to either make a query or make a statement or ask a question of the council and or professional staff? Now's your chance to do so. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. My name is Scott Pointner, Pointner, from Rathje and Woodward in Wheaton, Illinois. And I'm here just to clarify a couple of quick things. So number one, I represent Madeline Roth, and there was some, we believe, some confusion potentially out there with some ownership of property with regard to 610 South First Street, south of the tracks. Madeline's LLC owns that property, and it's been under Madeline's control for quite a few years now, and she's the managing member of the LLC, and we just wanted to make sure that it's very clear to the community that that property is not on the National Historic Register. There's no liens on the property, and it has not been landmarked. And so some of the questions that we think may be out there, we just wanted to make sure that that's very clear that that's the status of things. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, we're going to jump into the agenda, ladies and gentlemen. Item 4A is to proclaim February 14th as League of Women Voters Day in the city of Geneva, which of course will eclipse Valentine's Day. Right? And we have special guests with us today as well. Would you like to speak or say a few words? Because I do have a lovely proclamation I'd be happy to present. Otherwise, we'd love to hear from you. Or I should say, in addition, we'd love to hear from you.
So we appreciate the step you're about to take. The League was founded on February 14th, 1920. The 19th Amendment was finally ratified about 6 months after that. And so we have a long, proud history of voter service and advocacy for issues. So thank you very much for recognizing that.
Well, of course, thank you very much. All of you have a copy of the proclamation in your packet, and it's my pleasure to ask the council members for a motion to so proclaim February 14th as League of Women Voters Day in the city of Geneva. So moved. Motion by Alderman McGowan. Second. Seconded by Alderman Clements. Any additional questions or comments for either our league guests? Alderman Bruno, do you have a yes, sir?
I just wanted to say I've long admired the organization. Great work that they do in voter education, voter turnout. In fact, I just sent that donation in yesterday, so I would hope others would do the same. Thanks.
And Alderman Bruno was the original donor back in 1920, so it's a consistency thing, really, is what it is, so. All in favor of Alderman Burkhart, forgive me, yes.
I was going to ask, I just heard about a recent really successful voter drive at a high school, area high school. Are you doing a lot of voter registration events right now, and what kind of response are you getting?
Very positive. That was in.
Madam, could I trouble you to use the microphone? Because
Yes.
there's about, oh gosh,
There
hold
we
on.
go. I'm
4
Lo-
million people tuning in.
I'm
right
Lona
now, so
Steele.
How do you do, Ms.
Very
Steele?
positive. We've done, Oswego East, they've invited us back. They have a really huge civics program. And so we register there almost every year when we're invited. Wabansie, Sugar Grove campus, we have good response there. Surprisingly, people think it's because people aren't registered to vote that we're not getting the turnout. People are registered to vote, they just don't. And so what we're finding is people keep wanting us to go because we can find lots of people to register to vote. That's really not true in many settings. Now, in the high schools, of course, the students are really eager. Wabansie, we find is, what people will stream by us. Are you registered? Are you registered? Yes, 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 yes. So it's really gratifying for us to be out there, actually.
Very good. Well, thank you
So,
for all the work
sure,
you do.
Sure.
Anyone else on the dais?
Okay, I want to make a comment.
Please, come on, please join us at the podium. We'd love to have you.
We were talking about the league being organized 100 years ago,
Yep.
but all of us here are part of the Central Kane County League. So I thought that's the local league here.
Right,
And we're very active in voter registration, for sure. So
absolutely.
anyway, thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much. I have the pleasure of participating in a League of Women Voters discussion on February 15th at Northeastern Illinois University, and that'll be exciting, on the climate issue. Yes. Anyone else? May I present the proclamation to you with a vote first? All in favor of the proclamation, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Congratulations. How about a photo op? Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
That's awesome. That's all we want. That's nice. That's all.
Where do you want us to stand?
Janet's our longest term member here. She's been a member since mid-1970s, so.
No kidding?
Very nice.
You've been a member of the league since 1970s? Oh, here. 76.
You want to come stand in the middle since you're nice
One
and
of
bright?
the first things I did.
Right here in the middle. You take Janet.
Oh, no, you're fine, don't worry. I'm just trying to make sure that seal's back there, right?
Check this out. This is going to be great. Let's move over this way so we can see.
Yeah.
That sounds good, yeah.
Nice and oriented. He's
Yes.
been here once or twice.
That's right. He's got his smile.
I'm good.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Got it?
I went to high school with her son. Never liked me. Now, damn it. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Happy anniversary. Item 5, amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments this evening, ladies and gentlemen? Item 6 is the omnibus agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are considered to be routine by this council and can be considered and voted upon with one motion. Is there such a motion? Alderman Clemmons with enthusiasm, seconded by Alderman Swanson. Questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk.
Caven. Aye. Gilbert. Aye. Maladra.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
McGowan.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Bruno.
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Clements.
Aye.
Ruby.
Aye.
Item number 6 passes unanimously. We skip down to item number 10B, as in boy. Approve fiscal year 2019 and fiscal year 2020 third quarter goals status report as presented. Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Alderman Bruno makes the motion. Second. Alderman McGowan makes the second. Any questions or comments for the city administrator? Hearing none, seeing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion passes unanimously as well. Item 11 is municipal bills for payment. We kindly ask our city clerk to read the bills in their aggregate for our consideration.
Total bills are $1,045,508.16.
Mayor, I move that we approve and pay the bills as read. The individual items that add up to that amount can be found in tonight's packet on the city website.
Alderman Bruno makes the motion to pay the bills as presented. These bills are also available in our packets and on the city's website. Is there a second to that motion? Alderman Ruby makes the second. Any additional questions or comments for the city administrator or any professional staff member present? There were many questions answered earlier this afternoon via email from our administrator. So with that, Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
McGowan.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Bruno.
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Clements.
Aye.
Ruby.
Aye.
Caven.
Aye.
The motion to pay the bills has one unanimous vote. We skip down to the last item, folks, which is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Burkhart, who will be having cookies soon for all of us to enjoy. Is there no second because it isn't needed? In favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. We'll begin the committee of the whole meeting momentarily.
I didn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly call the committee of the whole meeting to order and let the record show that all the council members are present this evening. On the agenda, folks, any new business by anyone joining us this evening? Any public commentary, questions, comments, concerns? Moving on to the agenda items. Item 3, approve regular committee of the whole minutes from January 23rd, 2020.
So moved.
There's a motion by Alderman Bruno. Second. Seconded by Alderman Caven. Any questions, any comments? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Item 3 passes unanimously. Items of business 4A, to recommend referral of request for a zoning classification from Kramer and Sons LLC to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a public hearing on recommendation to City Council. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Marks. Seconded by Alderman Clemmons, and we defer to our city administrator for some preamble wisdom.
So bear with me, it's a little bit longer of a summary. A petition for annexation has been submitted for the property consisting of approximately 30 acres contiguous to the corporate limits of Geneva. The land is situated east of Old Kirk Road and immediately south of the Union Pacific West Line in Kane County. The petition for annexation is voluntary. It's been pursued by the city in concert with long-range planning goals and strategic plan objectives. The petitioners are requesting an I-1 light industrial zoning with existing rural residential uses deemed legal nonconforming under the provisions of the city's zoning ordinance. Petitions for annexation are subject to a public hearing before the corporate authorities, which is the city council. However, since there is a zoning classification request, the matter shall first be reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission and a recommendation on zoning classification provided to the city council. A public hearing for annexation before the City Council will follow the zoning recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Prior to the public hearing, the City Council will have the opportunity to review the petition for annexation, including the proposed annexation agreement, which provides for inducements of less than $20,000 to include granting of a public utility easement, waiver of fees for annexation and zoning, zoning of property to I-1 light industrial, maintenance of existing rural zoning uses, ability to connect utilities when available without tap fees for existing uses only, a 5-year property tax abatement for the city portion of the tax bill, ability to connect property to future Kelts Road extension, and inclusion in a future TIF district if qualified and adopted. No future development obligations or incentives are provided. Future development will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. The benefits of the proposed annexation include securing future industrial use on a little more than 30 acres of property in conformance with the city's adopted plans and agreements, improving contiguity for future annexations, and granting a needed public utility easement along the northernmost property line of the subject property. We do have Economic Development Director Kathleen Timoshenko with us this evening if you have any additional questions.
Questions or comments for either the city administrator or the economic development director? Alderman Kilberg.
I have a couple. The property we're looking to give consideration to annexation, could you describe what adjacent properties are currently other possible candidates for annexation at some point in time? Or is this the only area between the industrial park plans and the city? Is this, what other pieces? In other words, I see the green outline here. What about the property to the west of the property in question?
That could potentially be annexed. So anything that is between the city's
Old
current-
Kirk Road and east?
Yes.
Okay.
Would be within our facilities planning area and would be eligible for incorporation within the city of Geneva.
Have we talked to any of the other residents or any of the other property owners to have them possibly give consideration to annexation at this time?
Yes, I mean, for years, there's been conversations with different property owners. I think that it's pretty well known that there's an opportunity for annexation.
And have they expressed any interest, or what's their hesitation?
Alderman, I understand the scope of the questions, but
Well,
it
I'm just
doesn't.
saying, I guess my question is this is sort of being gerrymandered, and I guess I'm wondering, if we're going to take this type of an approach, is there any benefit to possibly doing it collectively?
That's a fair question. It doesn't necessarily bear on the matter
Understood.
before. Okay, I just as a word of caution, because there may be other potential opportunities, I just want to make sure we keep everything as generic as possible, so as not, again, to have a
Okay.
deal-making conversation at this juncture.
Have we had conversations with other property owners in the immediate area that might potentially have an interest in annexation at some point in time in the future?
Yes.
Okay. Is that okay?
That's generic.
Also, what role does this annexation potentially play in the viability of a TIF for what we're looking at doing, or we have consultants retained at the present time? In other words, is this going to be a critical piece to preparing a successful TIF proposal? Is that a viable question?
It-
Certainly viable.
It is within the-
It's just not on topic as with respect to the matter before us. It's certainly
Well,
larger.
it's referenced in the documentation.
There's no question it's part of the larger matter. The TIF isn't relevant now, is the only thing I would say.
I mean, I get, what's referenced is that the annexation agreement, which will come before you at the public hearing stage, would provide this property owner inclusion in a TIF if there was a TIF. It's
Right.
this
Guaranteed.
property, right, this property isn't going to be annexed so that we have a TIF. It's this property.
Understood, I understand that. My question is it been the recommendation of our consultants that this property would be beneficial to securing a successful TIF or a viable TIF? In other words, has our consultants taken a look at this, and have they come back and said that if this is potentially annexed, this will be an important element in putting their proposal together as far as the TIF?
The city,
I don't know, am I clear on that?
well, I'll try to answer, and then if I don't answer, then we can dig deeper. But the property is included in the study area that we have
Right.
designated for the TIF, because we've been working with this property owner for, some time to try to secure the annexation. So it's included within the study area. What it does do is it helps to improve contiguity for future annexations, and it could assist in the qualifications for the TIF.
Have they rendered an opinion on other properties within the immediate area, our consultants?
We've had some preliminary feedback, but nothing formal.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the dais? Questions for either our Director of Economic Development or our City Administrator? We have a motion. We have a second. Mr. Clerk, if I may trouble you for a roll call vote? Thank you.
Maladra.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
McGowan.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Bruno.
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Clements.
Aye.
Ruby.
Aye.
Aben.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
The motion passes with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent. Item 4B is to consider draft resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Municipal Well and Pump for Well Number 10 Rehabilitation Project in an amount not to exceed $59,369. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Bruno. Seconded by Alderman Burghardt. City Administrator Dawkins?
So this well is located at 252 West Haven Circle. It failed back in November. Prior to the failure, it was operating basically 10 hours a day. It was rehabilitated in 2000 and then again in 2011. And kind of what we've seen is the average length for these types of wells that run on a daily basis is about 10 years. Staff prepared a bid spec, and the lowest bid was provided by Municipal Well and Pump out of Wisconsin in the amount of $43,035. We also included additional items to include a replacement pump bowl assembly, additional test pumping, and bailing the well to remove material at the bottom. So the total cost for those items is $16,334. If the motor cannot be repaired, staff will come back to the City Council to approve a replacement motor, but we're hoping that we can rehabilitate it, and the cost is within the existing budget. And I have Superintendent Van Guscom with us this evening, as well as Director Babica, if you have any additional questions.
Questions for either the superintendent, the director, or the city administrator from the dais? Seeing none, hearing none, a voice vote is sufficient. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Item 4B passes with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent. Item 4C is to recommend draft resolution authorizing the purchase of a keyless entry card system for the fire department.
So moved.
Alderman McGowan makes the motion. Seconded by Alderman Marks. This keyless entry will replace the having to use axes to open the door.
That is correct. So actually, this is year 2 of a 2-year project. You may recall that in 2019, we did this for Station 2. So this is for the project for Station 1. It also includes, I think, some programming for Station 2 as well. But the current access of the security has to be redone every time we have somebody leave or something happens. So this would make this similar to what we have here at City Hall. Fox Valley and Fire and Safety was the lowest qualified quote, and I have Chief Antonori present if you have questions about this.
There were a couple questions bandied about via the Q&A provided by Ms. Dawkins.
Which
earlier
are, and
today.
again, all those questions are posted on the city's website.
Correct. Any questions or comments for the chief from the dais? Hearing none, seeing none, a voice vote is sufficient. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say nay. Item 4C passes with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent. Folks, we're at the bewitching hour again. We want to welcome our Daily Herald reporter who missed the annexation of St. Charles earlier. That'll be a good lead story for you. Ray Regina's out. Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved by Burghardt. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We're adjourned, folks.